Hello and welcome to this review for the game Cleopatra and the Society of Architects, the 2020 deluxe version. That is this one. I've never played the original version, so I can't really compare it to the older one. I don't know if they changed any rules. I just know this version, so here's my review for that. Since there is a review, if you watch more of my reviews, you'll understand that I am positive about the game. I won't make a review of a game that I think is not good. But in the case of Cleopatra, I do have to say it barely gets a positive review. I don't think it's a bad game. I did enjoy it. But it's a bit, for me personally, it's a bit simple. It's an easy game. Either you take new cards or you spend cards to build. That's quite easy. As you can see, this is it. This is the entire box. It's quite expensive because there's a lot of stuff in the game. So let's start with that. What is in the box? This is all in the box. It looks quite nice, but yeah, it's still not quite perfect, and it's a lot. It's a lot of stuff for a game that is rather on the light side. Also, if you see, I can't see if you really see this, but here's an obelisk and it's sort of bending toward the side. The other one is nice and straight, but not this one. This is crooked. The pieces, you can see it in pictures, but it's all rather wonky. Well, if you're going to make a game like that, don't you want to make it so perfect that it actually looks the way it does in pictures? Anyway, so that's it for the contents. It looks nice, but it's not completely perfect, and I'm not sure why you would do that for a game that is rather simple. Unless all of these components aren't that expensive to make when you make them in bulk, and you just drive the price up to get a profit. So this is from Mojito Studios, and I'll be keeping an eye on them for the future, see what they come up with. But the game itself, like I said, for me it's quite easy. Either you take cards or you spend cards to build something, like a Ticket to Ride without a particular end game. There's some elements with these guys that you can hire to help you during the game, but you get negative points for that, and you have to deal with them during the game, at the end of the game, so that's alright. I played it once with 3 players, so we were with 3 in total, and that was a nice game. And I've played it once with just my partner, so a 2-player game, no, absolutely not. Personally, I do not recommend this as a game for 2 players, because you're just going back and forth, and it takes quite a while to finish everything, because that's you need to finish up stuff before the game ends. So that was way too repetitive for me. Not enough happening to make it interesting for a 2-player game to play for about an hour, maybe longer. Then there's also this element of here it says a particular thing, how you score for when you build something. But this is different from what it says in the rulebook. Here it says when you build this, you get 10 money, scarabs, whatever you call it, plus 2 extra bonus for every blah blah blah. In the rulebook it says you get 1 bonus for every thing that you have. So it's 2 different things. I emailed the publisher about 5-6 days ago. I'm still waiting for an answer. I know people are busy, but this is a question about one of your games. I hate to think what would happen if I email them that I'm missing components or anything. Would I get a response then? They also made their own tutorial video. You can find that on BoardGameGeek.com when you go to Cleopatra, the deluxe version. I did watch that video, but based on the comments that I saw there, they made the video 2 years ago, so they've been working on this a year before releasing it, maybe longer. But I would say check out the video. I don't want to be too negative about other people putting videos up on YouTube, but this is the tutorial by the publisher itself. Have a look and see what feeling that gives you about what kind of a publisher this is. Personally, I didn't think it wasn't a very good video, and I think that speaks for what kind of a publisher it is. And it matches perfectly with getting this big box with loads of components, but they're not all that good. Mistakes in the rulebook. Also some of the phrases in the rulebook, because this publisher is based in the United States of America, where they speak English, but the rulebook, at some point it said place then instead of then place. So I don't get it. So yeah, I'll keep the review on the short side for me. I do enjoy the game, but you have to be with 3 or 4. I would have to be with 3 or 4 players to actually enjoy it. Not with 2 players, and there is no solo mode in this game, but well, that's okay for me. But there are plenty of players who want the solo mode for a game. Yeah, so that's it for me. It gets like just barely over the threshold of what I think is a good game. If it was cheaper, if it didn't have all these huge components in it and such a high price, I would have liked it a bit more, I think. This is all just a bit too much for such a simple game. But yeah, luckily the gameplay is okay. It's probably very nice to introduce to players who aren't very familiar with board games in general, or players that like lighter games. I prefer heavier games, so yeah, this was a bit too much for me with these huge components and the high price, and I don't really get the gameplay for that in return, and also I don't really get the quality for it in return. So I'll leave it with that. I'm happy about Cleopatra to get it out now and then, and it has to be at least 3 players. Anyway, thank you for watching this review, and see you for the next one.